He was just 12 years old when he watched the World Trade Towers fall. And what he realized is that his mother was in one of the towers and that she would not be coming home. The story of Travis Boyd and how he has not only survived, but has overcome 9/11. That's next on America's Hope. Good evening, welcome to America's Hope. I'm Kelly Wright, and tonight we commemorate the September 11th attacks on America, more commonly known as 9/11. On that day, September 11, 2000, the world was shocked as people watched in horror as 19 al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked passenger planes, coordinated attacks on the World Trade Towers in New York City, the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, and a fourth plane crashing into Shanksville, Pennsylvania, following passengers aboard that plane revolting against the hijackers. Now, the attacks killed 3,000 people. All of those people had families who were devastated by the violent attacks. And many of those family members are still recovering from the effects of their heartbreak, of losing their loved ones in that brutal attack on America. And so tonight we pay special attention and homage to those who were fallen, but also talk to some of their family members. Joining me tonight is a man who was a child when all of this happened. He watched it all take place. Today he is a reverend and a teacher, Reverend Travis Boyd of Canaan Baptist Church in Harlem, USA. Lost his mother during 9/11. He joins us tonight. And Travis, it's good of you to join us this hour. And I hope you don't mind me calling you Travis.
Okay, thank you for having me.
I know you're a pastor, and I want to respect the title because you've definitely
Absolutely.
earned it. But you're here on this special commemorative occasion where we remember the attacks on 9/11. Take me through that day and that moment, if you will.
Absolutely. So September 11th was a day I think we all will probably never, ever forget. I remember laying on my aunt's couch. It was a Tuesday. I was in private school, so we started always a week or two after public school. And for the summers, I would always go downtown to Amsterdam housing to stay at my aunt's house because they had like summer camps and PAL, and so it was easier for my mom to send me down there for the summer, if not to South Carolina, so that way she can commute back and forth to work. And then I would see her on the weekends and in church. But that specific day, I will never forget, I was sleeping, and I normally don't sleep, past 8 o'clock, but I slept past 8. And my uncle yells, "Travis, call your mother, call your mother." And he comes in the living room and he turns the TV on. And I witnessed and saw the first tower burning, people falling out of the building, paper all over the place, just debris. So I called my mom, and to my advantage, there was no lines were connected. Everything was busy. I called her boss line, I called her supervisor line, I called the guy that worked right next to her, and there was just no pickup. Everything was just busy. So I sat and we watched, and then we watched a second plane go into the second tower. And that's the tower in which my mother worked in. I didn't think nothing of it because in '93, when the bombing happened, she picked me up from school and we went home.
Right, so your mother was still working even during the attack on the World Trade Tower in '93.
'93, yeah. I was in kindergarten or first grade or something like that. And she picked me up, went home. Of course, the city was shut down because I didn't know what was happening, what was going on. So I thought it was just another whole week of vacation for me.
Okay. Yeah.
And I figured the same thing would happen because we'd already been through this before.
So how old were you then when it hit the Twin Towers again?
I was 12.
You're 12.
12 years old.
So you're watching all this unfold, and now I can understand why you were thinking, oh, mom's on her way home.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so my uncle and my cousin, we go upstairs on the roof, and we just watch instantly all of the traffic back up they lived on 61st in Amsterdam, so it backed all the way downtown.
Wow.
People were walking and crying, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Like, and it had just only been in half an hour. It was standstill traffic. No one can get downtown or uptown. And I'll never forget, we waited for hours for my Aunt Vivian, who worked on Water Street, blocks away from the World Trade Center, until she got there. She was walking up from West End Avenue up to Amsterdam Avenue on 61st, and she was covered in all this sud. And we was trying to figure out, like, well, what happened? Like, it's a difference from watching it on TV versus seeing someone who actually experienced it. And she walked up the block but wouldn't go in the house. She says, I can't go upstairs, they're gonna bomb the other buildings. She says, they're gonna bomb the other buildings, I can't go upstairs. And we sat in the park for almost 2-3 hours until we were able to calm her down. And she cried and cried and cried. She says, my sister, I can't find my sister, I don't know where my sister is. It wasn't until the next day when we realized, after being up all night, we were waiting for a phone call, waiting for her to come through the door. We walked uptown in Harlem, where I lived, and we went to my mom's apartment, and she wasn't there. We might have figured maybe she went home, went to sleep, didn't call anyone, she wasn't there. And at that point, we were just devastated. We didn't know what was going on, how to handle things, how to move. But I thank God for my church family, because as soon as this happened, they jumped into action and helped us and was looking and searched parties. And I mean, it was just a community. It was just a definite.
And that was the sentiment and the actions that every church community here throughout New York City took part in that day.
Absolutely. Everyone
was searching, trying to help each other find the loved ones, even posting their pictures on, saying, have you seen my relative who was in the 9/11 attacks? We have, your church, by the way, Canaan Baptist, is world-renowned. People from all over the world will visit New York City, and they'll go to Harlem to actually see the church in service on Sundays. It has a dramatic, magnetic effect on people, bringing them in to hear from the pastor of that church or guest speakers. I want to take a break to show some excerpts of a video production that was done in commemoration of 9/11 that was done and produced by Canaan Baptist Church, and it features you, but also your two aunts who witnessed this alongside of you. Let's take a look and see what they're saying. Watch this.
I got the phone and I called Liz Job trying to reach her. I could not reach her. So I called Viv and I said, how's Liz doing? Did you hear from Liz? I tried to call, but I couldn't get any answer. I said, what's going on? She said, well, I heard from Liz and she's okay. And then someone turned on the computer and said, oh, the first World Trade Center went down. A plane went in it. So I got really scared. I got nervous because I just knew something was going to happen to her.
Unfortunately, many families like Canaan's own, Reverend Miles Travis Boyd and his aunt Vivian and Doris, September 11 would change their lives forever.
I said, Lord, this plane is so low. I'm like, why is this plane flying so low? They're telling everybody, get out of the building, get out of the building. We didn't know what was going on, so we got out of the building. So I walked and I walked. I was covered in debris. I walked by a firehouse. This guy stopped me and he said, do you want a bottle of water? I drank, I was drinking the water. I sat there a while. And I could hear everybody on the radio because they had the radio and all cars were parked. I could hear the people listening to the radio. And they were saying that the building was collapsing. It was coming down. I froze. I stood there a while. So I stopped walking. And I walked to the number 11 bus. And I know if I could get to the number 11 bus, I could get home. I did to get through all of this. because I had to get through this for myself, because I knew I had to wake up, because she has Travis, and what's going to happen to Travis now? You know, although he has other family on the other side, but they didn't know him like we knew him, because we raised him from a baby. So one day I walked, because I still was out of my mind. It seemed like my mind was over here and my body's over there. And if I could just pull it back together, I would be all right. But I knew I had to get myself together for Travis, because who's going to do what Liz used to do for him?
We started going to the hospital, just looking for her, just trying to, find her. We had her picture posted over New York City, different hospitals, and we just couldn't find her. And at that point, I knew that she wasn't coming home.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this episode so far of America's Hope. If you'd like to see it in its entirety, just click on the link below. Thanks for watching.